I am Taylor, if you haven't seen me before, your self-love mother or whatever. So I got another reading for you this Wednesday, and it is for this full moon of Sagittarius. I can already tell in the energies certain things, but I'm gonna just see what the cards mostly have to say, because I have a little piece of orchestra in my head that is not even a song. Like, it's an orchestra and it is a song, but it's specifically from, it is an orchestra piece from the movie The Land Before Time. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but it is like that whole cycle of like dinosaur movies, and it was like about a group of friends. But the first Land Before Time I remember is like the origin of how they became friends. It starts with the birth of Littlefoot. If you remember Littlefoot, the little long neck. I'm like, does anybody remember this? This is a gift from anybody, because I'm like, me and my sister just watched it like at least in the last year, and I feel like, is this hitting anybody else's childhood for you, The Land Before Time? So Littlefoot was being born, and in that little moment of the piece of the orchestra that I'm hearing, he was like looking at the world like there were like new creatures, like he was just being born, so he was just open, like his view of the world, or him just like being able to open his eyes is like it was like a little bit of apprehension because he was scared of the creatures that were approaching him, but also it was like he was like just taking in being born, and like I felt like just taking in the little inner part of him around like his familiar faces, the loved ones, his family. And I feel like at least it's not supposed to be super specific, but I feel like for this collective that I'm getting, it's continuing again from the last part, but it's like I also feel like whatever that you released was something bigger than what I was saying, like, or it was a big part. It wasn't just a bad habit, or it was maybe a bad habit, and it was, or like a super big bad habit, or like a bit, like I was saying it was mostly a person last time, and it does feel something big to where if it wasn't a physical person, it was something that was like blocking you heavily. And I feel like you're just now like in a certain rebirth to where it's something like feels brand new, to where you're like taking in the world, maybe taking in the world a little bit differently, but maybe you just feel like you like a heavy weight was lifted off your shoulders, and now you like feel free, and you're now taking in the world like without this thing. I feel like whatever this is for you, whether it was a bad habit or a person, it's something that you're now like feeling the difference. Like either way you feel the difference, it was a change, it was a big change, or it was something that caused a big change to where now you're in this rebirth and you're like Littlefoot, you're like, you feel brand new, you feel like you're taking in the world different, you feel different, you feel like you can take on the world different. I feel like there's just a different energy somewhere. So let's see what, and if that continues on from what I was thinking at the beginning. If you haven't felt this, because I feel like it could be a possibility that you haven't felt this. That's why I wasn't sure whether or not to say it before or after I pulled the first card, but I feel like if you haven't felt this, you're about to feel it. It's about to be a big difference. So let's see. Ooh, damn. Oh my gosh, the first card is transformation. Literally, there's a difference. You either feel a difference or you're about to feel a difference, but at the bottom of transformation, it says things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. So I feel like there's something that's changing. That's changing within you, something that either feels brand new or something that's about to feel brand new. And okay, you're already doing it. Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, transformation. So the next card is you're already doing it. So I feel like maybe I'm getting ahead of myself and like predicting a little bit of what some of this collective is gonna feel. I'm not gonna say that everyone is gonna feel as like brand new as I'm saying. It's like brand new, like a brand new baby. Not everyone's gonna feel like that, but I do feel like the bigger the removal, I feel like whatever it is that you needed to remove, the bigger that it was, the more new that you'll feel. Like some people are like, I feel like if it's a person or persons, like people, like a group of friends, job, family, like separating yourself from family, a relationship, like I was meaning romantic that time because I did name off a lot of platonic, but yes, I feel like the bigger it is, the more you'll feel a difference, because I feel like it was a blockage that was specifically blocking something, even a mindset, something that is gonna make you look at the world differently. Mirror who or what is triggering you. I feel like okay, so if this is a mindset, because it says you're already doing it, so if it is a mindset, I feel like it's now more so like not even the healing medicine, but it's like the growth is showing. It's like I think you can finally tell the growth, or like the transformation. I feel like there are pieces of transformation that you can finally tell in the ways that you interact with people, in the ways that you interact, or even the ways that you just go about the world now. It says who or what is triggering you. I'm feeling like, I don't know if this is somebody who hasn't done that already. I kind of feel like it says you're already doing it, so it feels like you're focusing more on like the learning lessons, like you're leaving these experiences or about to leave these experiences, and you're like gonna be focusing on what it taught you or how it triggered you. It's like you're getting better at identifying your triggers and identifying the feeling. Like you're getting quicker at that. I'm feeling like you're feeling more growth, and maybe it is because you're able to you're able to identify, you're able to even probably pause your triggers, like you're able to talk with yourself and give space, like, and get space instead of like emotionally reacting. I feel like either that or it's a balance. I feel like there could be also a collective who has a balance, and it's a little bit more of a good, it's a little bit more of a balance to where it's like you don't don't pop off, but when you do, it's when you know it's intentional, or when you know you have to stand on business, or when you know you have to stand up for yourself. I feel like it's getting more involved in that. Or it could also be a bunch of tests. I feel like if you don't feel the difference, or it could be both, because I feel like Spirit's been testing me too, but I feel like it's a process of even being tested. Like I feel like you could be tested right now, and it's like you're passing or failing, and if you fail, like if you're passing the test, and if you happen to fail the test, you already can tell. Like you already can identify what you did wrong. You can forgive yourself for it and like process feelings for it. It's like you're pretty much ready for the next time. It's like, damn it, like I missed that one, or I let that person get to me, or I let that shit test me, but I know exactly what to do next time. I know how to do better, or I know that this last experience taught you something. Divine orchestration help us. Yeah, that's how so this is Council of Light, divine orchestration helpers in the subtle realm. I feel like this is why I feel like Spirit has probably been testing you too. Either that, or you've been receiving a lot of help identifying your triggers or soothing your triggers. You've been getting a lot of spiritual help. And I feel like if you have been tested, know that that's Spirit testing you. Know every time, we be feeling like, damn, like, we got the test, we got it, like, and then maybe it happens to trigger us that one time, or maybe we happen to meet this person that is like testing us, and just like testing us to the fucking extreme, and you know that this person is testing you, you know that this person is trying to get a reaction out of you, so you're trying not to give this person a reaction, but even the way that this person, or this thing, this like trigger, this thing, something keeps like coming up, and the way that it triggers you is just like, it makes you want to go off the way that you used to. And I feel like even when you happen to, it's like you're just like, fuck, like you know that you made a mistake. And it's like and I feel like we happen to like get on ourselves because we're just like, oh damn it, like I knew I reacted that wrong, or I knew I came at that wrong, and you hope and pray that like Spirit's not like gonna, like there's no karma that comes with that. I feel like depending on what it is, I'm not sure, but I feel like, because I can't, you know, I can't speak on that, depending on what it is, because I feel like it's not specific. I feel like it's just like tests. It's like you're getting, I feel like it's more test after test, and it's triggering you, and it's making you want to go to either your shadow place or just like go back to the who you were before you're trying to bring in growth. And it's like, damn, we always be feeling like, why does something always test me when I've changed? You know, maybe we feel like we were already becoming that better person. We're probably you're already doing it. So it's like, we're probably already in the midst of like becoming that better person. You're closer to becoming that person, becoming the person that you want to be, more so than who you used to be. Like, you're closer to who you want to be more than so who you used to be. And then you find that one thing, that one person, that one shit that wants to test you and bring out that bad person and like basically reverse all that growth. And you're just like, nope. Like, I feel like you're like, I'm not gonna get to me. And then when you do, it's just like, damn it. And you're just like, is there any karma? Like, did that reverse any growth? And I feel like, no. I feel like maybe even the trigger could be shame, and guilt. Like, don't guilt yourself into feeling like you can't make a mistake, or even feeling like, oh, because you made a mistake that reversed, like you we take 5 steps forward, 10 steps back. So like, because we've been in the midst of all this growth, this one mistake took us 10 steps back. It's like, no, we even sometimes have to react that way. I feel like that's why it's about balancing when we need to identify the triggers and like let them pass, and then we need to, if it comes to us in a specific way, we need to know how to stand up for ourselves and stand on business, because then you'll just be a doormat. I feel like it's not about being a doormat. I feel like people even the mindset of looking at spirituality as being a doormat, I feel like that could also be a mindset. Like, if I feel like a lot of this collective is in some type of spiritual growth, even some type of growth to where maybe you're not even like connected to spirituality like that. And it doesn't even have to be like that. It's more so about growing and wanting to grow intentionally and wanting to change and transform intentionally. And you can still have spirit guides even if you're not as connected to spirituality as you think, or if you're not like, you know, religious. Like, you don't have to be religious. You don't have to look a specific way in order to be spiritual. I feel like that's that's a belief or a mindset that a lot of us have to get out of, because that's blocking us from even standing up for ourselves or being a specific way that our body is telling us to, or our intuition may be telling us, like, everything is telling us to act in this way, but everything's telling us to act in this way, but we're stopping because we're like, oh, you know, I'm trying to be a better person. Like, you know, like, don't, I sometimes, I just told somebody close to me that I'm like, look, I'm trying to be a better person, but I'm not trying to be Jesus. I don't think it's the belief of trying to be Jesus. Maybe, I feel like it's more so the people who are trying so hard to get out of some bad habits, getting out of some toxic cycles, that you're completely going in the opposite direction. It's like, I tell my sister a lot, or just tell people a lot, that it's about balance. And I feel like when we feel like we're too much on this end, then we try to go all the way to this end. Like, we go from 0 to 100 and just go immediately try to be this other person, when it's about balancing. It's about actual growth. It's like, if we're like, everybody's balance is different, but if we're like feeling like we're somewhere in the middle, it's like, don't try to be over here if you're somewhere in the middle. It's just like, maybe that, it's like, I feel like we got to get deep with ourselves and ask ourselves who it is that we really want to be, and making sure like that we're doing the work to be that, but also not to be able to stand up. I feel like this is really about standing on business and standing up for yourself, but I'm still not sure. This is just all from this, but it is saying yes. So I feel like it's about when to say yes, when to say no. And I feel like right now you're in the midst of a lot of no's. And I feel like maybe you feel like it's gonna be no all the time, and I'm like, no, I feel like that definitely means yes, because everything, I feel like it's all about balance. Like everything has to have an opposite, and I feel like with, I'm trying to figure out how to say this because I'm not exactly sure. Like my train of thought goes so fast that I'm like losing it. So I'm gonna, again, about your ancestors. Like ancestors are really with us. I feel like it also could be about like maybe connecting with your ancestors and like connecting with their energy, especially if you're a person of color, because there's a person of color. Okay, I don't want to quickly say that that's a person of color because they're bowed head down, and I don't honestly think so, but I do see that the ancestor is a person of color. So I feel like this could more so be a message for my people of color, like especially when we're trying to like build something or like go through corporate or like the workforce. Like I feel like it could be about the workforce, it could be about our careers, but it's just about how we want to navigate through life as a person of color. And yeah, I think this is more so for my people of color. I feel like it's also, knowing when to stand up for ourselves and knowing when to say yes, because I feel like we put a lot of like life and family and just people around us, certain things happen to us to where like we get beliefs, and I feel like, well, for people of color, a lot of times that we shut ourselves down from what it is that we really want to do or what we want to be, because of the fact that we know, like as a black person, like you know that certain things happen to black people in the industry, in life in general. So like it makes you want to not do those things or not go for those things. Like if you want to be in the entertainment industry and you feel like, oh, there's a lot of racism that happens, even influencing. I just saw on TikTok today, or I have been seeing a pattern on TikTok for the last couple days of influencers, even black people of color influencers, coming out and like showing the stark difference of how businesses treat them, of how like, oh yeah, like maybe I heard one influencer say that they got an offer of like $175 and a gift card, like an Amazon gift card, versus a white person who got offered like $12,000. It's like sometimes seeing those stark differences in racism and seeing like the way that we're still being treated no matter what. Like we can have this many followers, we can have this much money, we can be this smart, we can be this, we can be exceptional in so many ways that I feel like sometimes we get on ourselves, or we tend to like not want certain things anymore, or like not want the motivation to even continue being in a certain industry that you feel like spirit put you in, or that you even wanted to be in, because of how they treat you. Like it's like seeing racism affect us, or like certain things affect us to where it's like you don't even want, like it happens so much, or every time you try, like the same thing happens, or like certain things happen. It's like living in the past. I feel like maybe even that's the trigger. Past. I feel like a lot of us maybe have been affected by the past, or by a certain situation, or certain traumas, even seeing how other black people in the industry, or certain industries, or just even black people in general, or people of color in general. You don't have to be a person of color, but I feel like this is more so, like the message is more so for people of color, but just take what resonates. I feel like if you're a person of color, it's like you see that the way that we're being treated, and it makes you just want to say fuck it. It's like, why even try? Why even try? Why try be in this industry? Why try and grab this career? Or why try even for my dream career if I've seen it not work for other people? Why even try to change, or why even erase certain not even erase, but like grow. Why even grow if I'm just gonna like act the same way, or react the same way, or be triggered the same way? Why even continue to grow? I feel like that's the midst of the shadow. Maybe if you're in shadow work, but I feel like if that's a shadow energy that you've been feeling, I feel like, or even a belief that you've been holding on to that has been blocking you. If that does resonate, I do feel like it's time. That's what it's saying. It's time to start saying yes. Your ancestors have been around you to where you're finally business-wise, like you've gotten the growth enough to be able to stand up for yourself even when it comes to racism, or standing up for yourself when it comes to if you're traumatized, you know how to stand up to yourself to a narcissist or an abusive person, or even a family member, a toxic person, whatever that you're dealing with. I feel like you've now gained enough knowledge and had enough time and enough growth to where you now know how to inhibit that. You know how to identify it when you see it. And I feel like maybe even the tests right now are tests from the past. Tests that are like, if you've been traumatized and you dealt with a narcissistic person, it's like if you let that person gaslight you, then you get stuck with that kind of trauma in every other relationship or dating that you try. And maybe what was it? Maybe you've seen this pattern enough to where you can identify it now. So you now know when you're dealing with a narcissistic person. You now know how to not deal with that toxic person either. And I feel like that's where you might have issues, to where you feel like, oh my gosh, like, did I do something wrong? It seems like there's a lot of focus on doing something wrong, making a mistake, just growing out and making sure that you're growing enough because you feel like, oh my gosh, you just feel like you want to grow out of this habit so badly, or you just know that this habit is blocking you from certain things, so you just want to make sure. But I feel like Spirit's telling you to say yes now. Say yes to the opposite. Say yes to standing up for yourself every once in a while. Not every time, but it's like, pick your battles. It's like, if you know how to pick your battles, then that means, like, if you've been allowing every battle to like brush it to the side, or being like, you know, you're not gonna let this, don't let that happen every time. Or even if you tend to make a mistake because like you're going through something, because what was it? I feel like if you're going through something, if you're not feeling 100%, like sometimes we're feeling down, we're just now, it's spring, so we're just now like seeding away that seasonal depression. And I feel like if you're still getting out of that energy and you find yourself triggering and you emotionally react away, like, try to give yourself grace because of the millions of times that you grew, you know, the millions of times that you didn't allow somebody to affect you, or you didn't emotionally react, or you didn't get triggered to where it was affecting your day, or like, you know, stuff like, give yourself credit. I feel like, yes, give yourself credit, give yourself a yes, to make a mistake, to be human. I feel like, ooh, to be human. I feel like that was definitely it, to be human. A lot about growth, okay, it's still about the energy. It's all coming together. It said it's still all coming together. It's still about, ooh, don't dim. Oh, that is so funny how that popped out right there. Don't dim your light to fit in. I feel that like that has a lot to do with the energy that I was just saying right now, is to not let that inner power, like, don't let people walk all over you. Because you're trying to be spiritual, or you're trying to be a better person, don't allow people to think that they can play in your face just because you're trying to be better. Like, you're actually trying to intentionally be better, and people are going to play in your face, or think that they can walk over you, or think that they can do certain things and not apologize. It's like, no, stand on it and stand up for yourself, especially when you have that urge. If you have that urge and you're just pushing it away because you're like, oh, I'm trying to be a better person. Like, I don't want to react this way, or I don't want to be, it's like, I feel like that's pushing away a part of who you are. This is for a specific collective, and I feel like it is for a specific collective of possibly women of color. Don't have to be women of color, but I feel like a person of color, specifically even activists or people who feel a push to speak up or stand up for themselves, or even create content. Create content like around speaking up, about using your voice. I've seen a lot about using your voice, so I feel like it's about using your voice. Don't allow yourself, or don't allow this person or this thing to dim you so much to where now you're not using your voice at all. Not even to what was it? Not even to be kind. Some even. I feel like even this could be a collective of people who have to stand up for themselves, learn to stand up for themselves. People in entertainment industry, but also people who ooh, oh my God, I lost it. Oh my God, hold on, give me a sec. Oh my God, I lost it. I think it'll come back. Oh my God. I'm gonna pray that it comes back, but I'm so sorry, y'all. The way that my mind be moving so much, that's why I speak so quickly sometimes. It's because I can literally see the thought, or I can literally hear or see like, what was it? See the word, the thought, the thing that in my head, and I try to say it before it before it leaves, and I feel like it's just left. Fuck. I think it's gonna come back though. Let me pull some more cards and see if if details come. Ooh, damn, I have a lot of cards that be coming out. Oh my God, that's so funny. The full moon card came out. Wow. I'm like, people be thinking it's crazy. Ooh, prosperity lies ahead. So it might have something to do with career, like I said. But let me see. Oh my God, again, balance. This one says balance, spirituality, and practicality. But I do think it's about balancing your spiritual side and your spiritual side and your human side. Spirituality and practicality can mean a few things. Usually it comes up in a career or like a personal reading when you need to when you really just need to balance like work life versus personal life, spiritual life versus your work life versus playtime. It's like really when you need to balance two aspects of your life that are like kind of clashing or just all over the place. But I feel like spirituality and practicality in this sense is also about standing up, like knowing how to balance your spiritual side, like your peace and your kumbaya, your ushala, like, you know, our fucking peace, our inside, balancing, knowing when to balance our peace and standing up for ourselves, knowing when to be assertive in the right ways. And I feel like we've gotten that growth. We're just scared. This could be for a collective of people who have maybe reacted a little, like reacted too much, maybe you feel like you've reacted too much or too big. That's why it says don't dim your light to fit in. Maybe you personally feel like the way that you reacted was too big, too much because of how the other person reacted, or because of the results, or because of the aftermath, like the results that you got, you maybe felt like you had to close this part off of yourself. And I feel like that's not true. I feel like this is specifically, I feel like for career babes, activism is coming up a lot. I feel like because it's about speaking up, like knowing when to speak up, when to pick our battles. This is somebody who like has been dealing with a lot. Like I feel like this is why transformation comes out, because after this you're going to be a different person, or you're going to feel like a whole different person because of the way that you used to be. I feel like this is really about even forgiving yourself. I feel like forgiving yourself also might be something. What was it? Let me see. You and your loved ones are saying a new start is coming. So I literally feel like you're going to feel the feeling that the sound, you're not gonna feel, like you're not gonna hear the exact sound, but you're going to feel like how the sound was in the movie. When that's how Land Before Time comes in. You're gonna feel like Littlefoot at the end. You're gonna feel like, and that's probably how you're feeling now. You're transformed so much to where you're afraid to react. You're afraid of new things because of the fact that it probably triggers old feelings in you. It's like maybe you're trying to grow now. You've grown so much and transformed so much, but you've also dealt with so much trauma to where you don't even trust when a good person, a good thing is coming or is in your face. Like you don't see it. I feel like you might not see it, or you might see it and you just might be like, this is a trap. Like, this is like how like we be making comedy over our trauma, and being like, when something new actually happens, or when you actually meet like a relationship, or you're in a relationship, or you are just now realizing that you're with a guy or with a partner who's like healthy, and you're just like, is this a trap? Like, is this? It's like you're trying not to self-sabotage. I feel like that's the thing, is that's why you feel like, oh my gosh, you get on yourself for making a mistake, because you feel like you self-sabotage yourself. And that makes so much sense. But I feel like there's a difference between, oh my God. Okay, so I hate to say it, because he's, he's a bad person now. But I used to watch, I loved that 70s show I loved that 70s show, like, growing up, like, in high school, up until college, up until I found out about all of that controversy, to be honest. But, there was a part in where Danny Masterson, that's what I was trying to say, trigger warning, Danny Masterson's character, Hyde, there's a part in where there's an episode where, Jackie's trying to stand up for herself. Like, she allowed, when Lori started dating, when Eric's sister Lori started dating Kelso, Jackie's ex-boyfriend, Lori would try to like get at her with like little reactions and like saying certain things so that she would get like she'd get an emotional reaction out of Jackie. And Hyde and like Danny Masterson, sorry, trigger warning, character Hyde used to started teaching her the master of Zen, like the energy of like not giving a fuck, basically. Like, you need to like stop giving her your energy, and then she'll just stop treating you that way. So there was a part in where Jackie finally, like, she finally had enough of Jackie and finally beat her ass. And she felt like, oh my gosh, like, Hyde, I know that probably wasn't, I remember her saying like, Hyde, I'm so sorry, I know that probably wasn't Zen of me. And he said, where Zen ends, ass kicking begins. And that is your final lesson. And that is what I feel like, that is the lesson here. Where Zen ends, ass kicking begins. And I'm not saying like 100% physically attack, but it's about standing up for yourself and being assertive, to where it's like, no, you're not gonna let this person play in your face. You're not gonna let this person get to you, and where they think that they can just treat you that way, or whenever they want to treat you that way, or like to where you feel like they have your energy. Sometimes the reaction is to not give them a reaction, but sometimes it's about, let me show you why you don't fuck with me. Like, and not letting people fuck with you. And not even 100%. It's just about showing them that other side of you, to where it's just like people will see why you're so peaceful. It kind of gives me like the Kendrick, I don't know if everybody's tired of hearing about it, but I'm like, I still play the song. I'm not talking about the beef really much anymore, but I am still listening to the songs. But it gives me like the Kendrick and Drake beef energy, to where it's like, Kendrick didn't react until it was like, oh, okay, so like you knew how to trigger me, or you knew how to poke at me to where you were gonna get a reaction, or like you wanted to test me and be like, how fucking peaceful is he? And I feel like, and this is not even to say that this is what Kendrick was thinking, but this is like from one Gemini placement to another, because Kendrick is a Gemini, he's a Gemini, and I'm a Gemini rising, so I feel like I'm not gonna 100% equate with the same way, but I do have Gemini placement, so I sometimes feel like I know I get the same way. And I feel like, just like I get a type of way if someone if you mess with me, yeah, I'll feel some type of way, and I even might react a specific way depending on how you try me. But I'm very much the person that's like, if you mess with the people that I care about, if you mess with my friends, if you mess with my family, no mercy. No, I feel like sometimes it is no mercy, and that is a blessing and a curse, because sometimes you either react or you don't. It's like, it's a blessing and a curse, but I feel like you you are now getting to that point to where it's just like, oh, you're gonna do that. Okay, so I'm going to stand up for myself now. And I feel like it's just getting there. I'm so sorry. I don't know if that went all over the place, but I feel like what was it? It was kind of to say that you're now, it's like you don't know when to react or know when to react. And it's about picking your battles. You don't know when to stand up for yourself, maybe because you feel like you reacted all the time, and now you feel like you don't want to be that same person, and you don't want people to see you the same way, or you don't want people to like act the same way or act the same energy. It seems it's giving like family because, or like some kind of trigger or trauma because of the fact that it seems like it's been a pattern with multiple people or multiple cycles, multiple relationships, and you're now being like, oh, like I don't want to react, I don't want to do this. And I felt like now you're getting to where it's like even you don't know how to like move in the world now as you want to be a better person. But I feel like you're just now getting that, and I'm feeling like with this collective, it's a more collective of like you want to stand up for yourself, but you want to stand up for yourself in the right way, and know that when you give a million chances and you react once, know that was their chance. That was a million. If you gave people a million chances and you're focusing on the one time that you reacted, let it go. Let it go. You like that. Obviously, that was a test to where you had to stand up for yourself, and sometimes you like a test for other people because other people sometimes have to see. Don't mess with certain people. Don't mess with quiet people. Don't mess with protected people. Don't mess with. And when I say protected, I mean spiritual protected, because most of the time people love to come at certain people away and being like, they ain't gonna do nothing. Sometimes they don't have to. Sometimes people don't have to sometimes they don't have to do anything because their ancestors will do it for them. So yeah, watch out for that. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else. Okay, wait, I already got that. Keep us over there. Okay, let's see if this is gonna get any more specific with tarot. It might be a more specific message, but we'll see. Okay, Spirit be so clear. Ooh, Queen of Cups and Queen of Pentacles. Maybe this is where this is affecting. Ooh, okay. So what I think I'm getting is that this emotional, like you being emotionally imbalanced, like maybe this is you were emotionally imbalanced. It doesn't seem like you are now because they're both upright. You feel me? Both queens. But I feel like the Queen of Cups, I feel like it correlates, like I feel like your emotions, this might be for my baddies, my bosses. Like my ladies who are trying to make a career out of something, either out of their business or out of themselves, out of a service. You provide something, and I feel like that's it with the Queen of Pentacles. But I feel like your emotions are attached to your career. And this might also, honestly, this might be more specifically for my boss babes and my entrepreneur babes, and that doesn't always mean just babes who are doing a physical business. You could also be a business. You could be a freelancer with specific services, or you could be an artist to where like an actress, like a model, someone who is like getting money for your service. I feel like because it seems like your emotions or this trauma is specifically tied to your business. So your emotions affect your business, your emotions affect your career, it's even like your mental health or well-being. I feel like your mental health or well-being, or just like the way that you're balanced, will affect your business. So if you've been imbalanced, know that your business has been imbalanced. If you've been wondering why maybe you haven't been getting roles or certain things, it could be because there's something that you have to work on that is coming up when you're auditioning or coming up through it during this time. And it does, I feel like, have something to do with your relationship with spirit, but it's more so also your relationship with trauma, like with your emotions. it's really, I feel like that's it too. I feel like you're also getting to the bottom. I feel like if you're, okay, so I'm tapping into a specific collective here. If you're a babe who is already knowing how your emotions are connected to your traumas and stuff, I feel like this is not you. I feel like this might be for my babes who are getting into the process of that, because it said who or what is triggering you, but it did say you're already doing it, so maybe this is for both collectives. I feel like this could be for my both collectives, but maybe it's just an awareness of a place that you didn't know. Like maybe you could still be healed and still not be aware of a certain thing or a certain aspect or a belief or how that's affecting your life. And I feel like that could be why Spirit is, if you're feeling extra triggered, that's probably why. Spirit's trying to get you to see this awareness as that your business, who you are, like you being a boss, you being imbalanced. First of all, I'm not even trying to say that bosses can't have mental health issues. That has nothing to do with that. It's mostly to do with how your emotions affect your business, how your emotions affect your career, how even standing up for yourself or knowing when to balance this, how that's going to better you and affect you in career, how it's been affecting you and how that's going to better you in your career. I do feel like it has something to do with that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else, because I'm just like, sometimes it's identifying, mermaid has been coming up. This could be about a person, about coming together with like a specific woman, or maybe someone who's gonna help you in business. Or even vice versa, somebody who will help. Or if you're a boss bitch who feels like they need somebody a little bit more balanced in their emotions, and that's the same way. It could also be a fire sign and not a fire sign, earth sign. Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles is earth sign energy. So it could be an earth sign and a water sign. You could be a water sign, or you could be an earth sign, or vice versa. It could be like a business it could be like a business partnership too, to where like you're getting together with someone in business. Maybe someone who's a little bit more, if you're someone who's a little bit more like equated in business, and this person's a little bit more equated in their emotions, and if you're more about your emotions and this person's a little bit more in business. So it could be a business partnership. I'm seeing that as well. A business partnership. It says just say yes, so it could be, you could be even growing and like connecting. Maybe you're networking right now. You could be in the process of networking. I do feel like it's more so about knowing how to stand up for yourself, especially because if you're a boss, or if you're trying to be a boss, then you have to know how to stand up for yourself. You need to know how to even connect with your emotions, vice versa. It's like you need to know how to be a boss, but you also need to be connected with your emotions to where you're not a like authoritarian, like an asshole. Like you don't want to be too much of an asshole, even if you're knowing that you're sometimes a little bit too honest. Don't be too disconnected to your emotions that you're too much of an asshole, but also know when to be a boss, know when to be on your shit, or know when to stand on business. Like know when it needs to be something needs to be like, all right, like it's time to get serious. I do feel like it's just a few messages in here, so I feel like take what resonates, but I do feel like it was about standing up for yourself because of what came out. But other messages include like a business partnership. Again, a business partnership with another queen, another balanced queen, either more emotionally balanced, like a little bit more on the emotional balance, or a little bit more on the business balance. And it says a new start is coming, so surrender to the divine. I'm like, any other messages? Prosperity lies ahead, so it could definitely be a business it could definitely be a business collaboration or partnership, but that's after you learn how to balance your your spirituality and your practicality. So whether that's balancing your personal life and your work life, like maybe you work too much and now you need to balance like being in your heart and being in your family, being like with your family as well. If that doesn't resonate, then I feel like it's more about knowing when to pick your battles, when to stand up for yourself, and when to let certain things go. You and your loved ones are safe. So I feel like. Ooh, the Lovers came out. But I'm also like, am I getting like romance relationship in here? I'm not, honestly, but let me see. It did say prosperity lies ahead, but I don't know though. Soul Tribe. Ooh, Soul Tribe. So it could still be a business. Oh my gosh, be like business. Because I'm hearing that song by Saucy Santana, Standing on Business. It'd be like standing on business. Standing on business. I'm like, yes. Every time I say it like that. So I'm like, it's getting stuck. Okay, Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? Don't dim your light to fit in. I fill up your well. Take a break. Dance. Okay. Play. I'm not really seeing no. Maybe it's about balancing no. Yeah, I'm not really getting any romance energy in here. It's giving more so like business collaboration for my boss bitches, or even a friendship, because it said Soul Tribe, so it could definitely be an earth sign. Maybe it's just like an earth sign, or someone who's a little bit more like, maybe who's someone who works a lot, someone who's a little bit, maybe a little bit wealthy. Someone who's a little bit more in their emotions, if this is the Queen of Cups. I feel like there's like a balance here. There's a little bit more of a balance here, but it could be a relationship, a friendship. I feel like it's more so like a friendship or a business partnership specifically. I don't know. Ooh, it did say the Lovers though. Ooh. But I feel like the Lovers isn't always love, if you get what I mean. Okay. I'm trying to find a love reading in here because my energy is still not getting Lovers. I do feel like also the Lovers is giving, from the energy that I was getting about knowing when to pick your battles, like, and standing up for yourself. I feel like the Lovers could also mean self-love, because the Lovers also does mean self-love, because the balance of masculine and feminine is like within yourself and spirit. So it could be your relationship with spirit. For those who are not resonating with relationship. For those who are resonating with dating and relationship, all right, let me try to please y'all here. It says, oh, you're already doing it. So it feels like if you're in the process of wanting to bring in romance energy, or like you want like a summer fling, summer romance, even want something, or want to bring in something a little bit more long-term, then I am seeing that. It's giving same-sex relationship. It does not have to be same-sex relationship though, because everyone, like mostly everyone in these modern tarot cards are women. I'm like trying to see if anyone's not a woman. Majority are women. Queer or not. Yeah, it's giving, all right, Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, it's low-key giving same-sex to me. But also it does not have to. You do not have to do that. You also don't have to resonate 100% with earth sign and water sign. I just feel like that pops out because the Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Cups. Either way, you're either a little bit more like logical or like business-wise, or you're more in your emotions. But Oh, for love. Yeah, that's right. I was doing a little bit of a love reading for the people who just need the love energy or trying to figure out what it is love energy wise. Okay, so number one, I just seen surrender. I feel like balance. I feel like, okay, so for love, I feel like if balance, practicality, and spirituality would mean balancing your personal life, your work life, and the love. Like balancing your personal and your work life. Because especially if you're a bad bitch who's like been on her boss energy, it's just like, even if you feel like, oh, you don't have time for a relationship, and if you seriously don't have time for a relationship, then why are you even like, I'm not even to say that we can't want love, but it's just more so like, are you manifesting love when you don't even have time for it? Like, are you manifesting love when you don't even have time for it? Or do you like hope for love? If you're hoping for love, then that's perfectly fine. But I feel like you have to make time for it. You have to make time for dating. It's like most of the time we be trying to like wait and see when that good person comes, like maybe then we'll make time for it. And yeah, that'll happen, but I feel like it'll happen rarely. Sometimes it's also just about manifesting and making space for that manifestation, and until that manifestation comes, just taking care of yourself. And it's more about so if you're a boss bitch who feels like they have no time for a relationship, how are you gonna be trying to manifest a relationship? Make time for it. Lessen your hour. I feel like lessen a couple hours. Like how much time, what kind of like little sacrifices would you want your partner to make for you, especially if they're a boss? If you want your partner to be a boss, what kind of sacrifices would you want them to make? Would you want them to like make time for you in between? Would you want them to call you after work, or call you in between work, call you, make dates, like schedule dates on, specific dates, or consider you how? Like, sometimes we want people to just even consider us, but like, how do you want them to consider you? And then make time for it. Like, lessen your hours at work and take more time for self-care. Because if you make more time for self-care and taking care of yourself, then you know that you're taking care of yourself and available for someone, for a partner. Are you still like committed to your shadow work? Are you, are you making excuses? I've seen a lot about making excuses. Are you the one who's just like, man, like I want love, but I just don't have time for one, or I just don't have the time, or like, or like, I don't know, something else. I don't know. It's hard to think of excuses, but even for me, most of my excuses that I don't have a lot of time, and I sometimes don't have a lot of time. The spirit is like, okay, well, if you want to date and if you want a relationship, or if you want to date and just have fun, make time for fun. So even make time for that. Even if you're not used to it, get used to socializing again. Go out to try to socialize. Go to social mixers. And I don't mean go try to socialize at the club. If you know that you can't socialize at the club, even with women, then don't go to the club. Just try to socialize with a man. Go to there are social mixers, game nights. I'm like, jazz nights. I'm like, what else am I doing? Even going, I don't suggest going to the grocery store, but a lot of men do be like, where can you find women? And I don't be suggesting the grocery store, because sometimes either I look a hot mess or I don't want to be bothered at the grocery store. There are places that I don't want to be bothered, but for other women it can be different. If you want to be bothered at the grocery store, maybe spend a little bit more time outside our house. And that's coming from a fellow homebody. If we want love, get out of the house. We ain't gonna end up as that TikTok skit that's going on right now, where the love of your life is gonna knock on your door and just be like, I'm ready to marry you. And we're like, oh my gosh, finally. Like, no. As much as we want that shit to happen, it's not gonna happen. So try to spend a little bit more time outside, and more during times where you want to be seen by somebody, because there were times where the only time that I would go out most of the time would be to go to work, and then somebody would try to hit on me while I'm going to work, and I'm like, oh, I don't have time to look at you, I'm going to work. Like, I'm focused on getting to work on time, I can't look at you right now. Like, then I'm just like, why can't you ever send me guys like when I'm not at work? Experience like, well, that's because you're at the fucking house all the time. I'm like, oh, like, Not you sitting here calling me out and shit. And spirit will do that. And that is what, if it's calling you out, then that is literally for that. Ladies, looking for love. Are you in the house? Start there. Start there. All right, y'all. That's it. That is the end of our reading. I feel like just keep doing what you're doing and keep identifying your triggers, but also be prepared to pick your battles. Be prepared to have that assertive energy and stand up for yourself, especially if you're trying to be a boss and you're trying to be a freelancer, knowing you can't go through this whole industry or your whole business as a business person allowing people to walk all over you. I feel like it has something to do with that, or letting people like manipulate you or play you in your face. Like, act accordingly. Know when to be silent, but know when to give them that reaction. And sometimes even saying something, let me say that, because I think I reiterated that earlier, but let me just say, yeah, sometimes the balance is knowing when to speak up and knowing when to not say something, but knowing when to speak up and not say something, but knowing just know that not saying something, if you try to react that way with someone else, know that that is just as strongly. I know sometimes we want to say something or we want to speak out, but sometimes it's just about knowing who you're dealing with and acting accordingly. But oh my gosh, y'all, that was a great reading. I feel like that's all about releasing. Ooh, releasing. You're already doing it. You already know when to release. You're already being triggered. Spirit's already making you aware. And if you're not 100% aware, I feel like you're either getting hints or you're getting confirmation of what you need to get rid of in this reading specifically. All right, y'all. Happy full moon in Sagittarius. I feel like you gonna come out like this, like Littlefoot. You're gonna come out like a brand new fucking baby. You're gonna come out feeling like a new person, or feeling like a weight has lifted off your shoulders when you release this. And when you finally feel like you've passed that test, you got this, babes. Be sure to like at the bottom of the screen. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. Thanks so much for being here. This has been Passion Tea. I am Taylor, your self-love mother or whatever, and I will catch you next season.